everyone, it's me, Fairy, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to start your own anime journal, all the supplies you'll need, and yeah. I feel like it's not that popular nowadays, but it definitely was popular back in 2020, and I just wanted to make a video in case people want to start now. Anime journaling is a form of journaling where you can create spreads for a character in the form of pictures, text, etc. It's just a nice place to keep all the characters you like in one place, and it's nice to go back and look at them. And I think it's super cool to look back on the thoughts you had of the character back then. And here I'm just flipping through some of my spreads from the journal that I'm using right now. So the first thing that you're going to need is a journal. Any journal works. I preferred a dotted journal, but you can use a line journal or a grid journal. Anything works. So for pens, I really like the micron pens because I feel like they write super smooth and they have a lot of different sizes. I also like the Pentel Energel pens. They write super smooth and they're super juicy. I like the microns because they have many different tips. And here's me writing with some of my pens. For some reason my old micron pens were running out of ink, so that's why the other two look so dry. This is totally optional, but I really like to use some highlighters. I think it just gives your work a nice pop of color. I like the midliners, and I especially like the ones with the little calligraphy tops because I think they're really good for lettering and they still give you that like pop of color, and they come in a lot of different colors. Another option I've used is the Ohuhu markers, the alcohol markers. I think there's so many different colors, so it's very versatile. I haven't found a color that hasn't matched the spread that I'm doing. They have both sides, a thicker side and a thinner side. They write super smoothly and they're very juicy, but beware that they do bleed a little bit. Next is washi tape. Again, super optional. I would really recommend, if you could only buy two, to buy this white one with a little grid. I think that's super versatile and I use it often, and it just looks nice on everything. And I would also recommend a plain black washi tape. I really don't recommend washi tapes with these patterns on them because I find it difficult to find a time where I actually use them. Like this one I've never even used before and I've had it forever. So now we get to the pictures. I use a printer, but if you don't have one, you can go to the library and print them for relatively cheap. What I recommend doing is just to open up a Google Doc and select all the characters you want to do and pick out pictures for all of them, then print them all at once and cut them all at once, and it just saves you so much time. And I really think it is better than just having to make multiple trips to the library or to the printer. For cutting the prints, you can use scissors. I typically prefer scissors over an actual paper cutter because I feel like I have more control of where I'm cutting. So now it's time to open your anime journal and get on the next blank page. As you can see, some of the ink has bled through from my other spread, but it's okay, I'm going to save it for later. The first thing you want to do is pick how you want to lay out your photos. Finding the layout you want definitely takes some time, so I would play around with it, but don't try to get caught up in being too perfect about it because you always have time to make another spread if you end up not liking the way you did it. So it's important not to stress too much. I kind of rearrange around a little bit until I find something that I'm particularly satisfied with, and then I start to tape it all down. I used an adhesive tape because I find it better than glue and I find it less messy. You just have to glue it on the back and just stick it on, and it'll stay on for a really long time, and I do that with all of my photos. just using some plain black washi tape just to keep it simple, and I'll just put some on the corners of the pictures. I like to keep it pretty simple. I don't like to do too much, but honestly, it's up to you. I like leaving a lot of room so that I can put text in. I thought it was a little bit too plain, so I added in some lines around the borders of some of the photos. I just used some black, and I think it gives it a nice little pop. I feel like for a lot of people, they worry about what their spreads look like. When I first started anime journaling and I was looking on Pinterest, I was really discouraged from continuing because my spreads didn't look like the ones on Pinterest. But just know that with time, your style will come eventually, and you shouldn't stress about it. As you start journaling more, you'll find your personal style. For me, I like to leave room so that I can write about the characters that I do the spread about. Just write about what I like about them, what draws me to them, and some information about who they are, what anime they're from, or honestly, you can talk about anything. It's honestly just a safe space for you to just info dump about your favorite characters. But of course, you don't have to journal the way I do. Some people like purely visual spreads, where it's mostly just pictures of the character, and some people like less photos or no photos at all, so that it can be mostly writing. It honestly just depends on what you want. And now I'm going to stop talking and let you guys enjoy this time lapse of me writing about my gorgeous king ghetto.